how did you get from that to Giles Peterson?
Well, yeah, okay, so yeah, I stopped doing the West End club nights, which meant that the money started drying out. That was the thing. Doing stuff a bit more discerning meant you made less money. And I remember I was looking for a job for a long time, like filling out application forms, any kind of job, to be honest. I kind of, from working at the ICA, I thought, you know, I wanted to work in institutions. Got hardly any interviews. And then I ended up working at Morley College, which is like an adult learning college in South London. I worked there for about a year, started off as a temp, as secretary to the visual art department. So I'd just basically be sorting out enrolments and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I had a studio going on in Whitechapel.
Yeah.
And I remember my boss was kind of like, I know you can do the job, but you obviously don't care that much. Evidently don't. When you come in stinking of alcohol with bags underneath your eyes, you've been to some party or whatever. So I kind of left there, and then that was the point where I said to myself, right, I'm applying for jobs that I really want to do, like rather than like, well, I just need to earn some money or, you know, feel accepted, I suppose. So I started emailing record labels, PR companies that kind of represented the music that I liked. I emailed Brownswood because I was a fan of Giles. You know, I used to listen to him on a Sunday and do my essays when he was on Radio 1. And, you know, just his approach to music and all that kind of stuff intrigued me. So I suppose I probably wrote my best cover letter to Brownswood just because I was genuinely interested in it.
Yeah.
And they got back to me quite quickly. I remember they got back to me really quickly, in fact, and said, oh yeah, sounds quite interesting. I was so hyped. I was hyped. And then they didn't reply. I was like, yeah, I can come in. And then they just didn't reply. I was like, what's that about?
Yeah.
So I actually ended up getting another job in like a new media company for a couple of months. And then they replied after like 3 months saying, oh yeah, sorry we didn't reply 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in for an interview? I was like, I've got another job now, but whatever. So I went in, and I remember my dad was like, you can earn half the money, what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Dad, I just want to do it, you know, that kind of thing. Brownswood wasn't based in Brownswood Studios at the time. It had a different office. And Simon, who's he's now Giles' manager, but he's, you know, he set up Brownswood with Giles at the time. Just said, go and see Giles. He needs some help. And it's quite funny. Giles called me, and my best mate lived at the end of Brownswood Road, and so I was round there. And he called me, and he was like, "Don't know what you're doing now." I was like, "No, this might sound a bit weird. But I'm actually 30 seconds away."
I'm stalking you.
Yeah, I was just waiting for your phone call. I'm around the corner, so I went round there, and he just basically needed help, like you know, and you know, one line that I'll always carry with me. He was like, I don't know what your influences are like. And kind of in my head, I'm thinking you. But do you feel like giving me a CD of music every week? And I was like, yeah.
That's like doing his research for him.
Yeah, or you know, contributing to his research. But it took me like 3-4 months to give him the first CD. I remember he used to come into the studio while I'd be like listening to Rinse. I'd turn it off. Like, what you listen to? I'm like, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. And yeah, you know, yeah, it's quite a funny. That was quite a funny kind of process because it was one of those ones where it was like immediately quite exciting. It was like, wow, oh my god, like,
a lot of trust.
You know, I'm like, around all this music. This is like an insane opportunity. While at the same time, my dad's like, you're not making any money. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. And yeah, in a way, I think that caused a bit of, you know, it definitely caused a bit of tension between, you know, me and my dad. Just, you know, because he just couldn't figure out what I was doing. He was like,
no,
what
I suppose he's seen you earning this,
you
earning
know,
that.
Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, something like that isn't necessarily about like how much money's going to be in your account at the end of the month. You know, it's about the opportunities and the doors that, you know, opened, and, you know, I got to go, you know, it was a dream. I used to go into Radio 1 every week. I met John Peel, Zane Lowe, just by like walking through the corridor. It wasn't, and you're meeting them kind of on your own terms as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
Because it's quite funny because you'd walk in with Giles Peterson, and I was like looking like, who's this geezer? Who's that? And you're just like, oh yeah, don't worry about me. And then also going to gigs with Giles and festivals, and
Wow.
the magic thing with Giles is that he'd play a whole array of different gigs. So even in the same night, you'd find yourself in a concert hall, and then later on in the evening, get in the car, drive off somewhere, and find yourself in a basement somewhere. And like seeing the differences in crowds and styles and approaches, and even like changing your mindset as you're in the car on the way to the gig. So it was an insane experience, and also I got a load of record label experience as well.
Yeah.
If we're doing Browns and Bubblers, we put out Jose James and Ben West Beach, Heritage Orchestra. I got to meet Flying Lotus like when he was a kid, and he came round to come and like pick up 200 quid because he didn't have any money. Then you look at him now and it's like doing these massive shows with like lasers and quite rightfully, he's considered a true don because he is,
And you'd have been meeting all of the radio pluggers from the record labels as well.
Yeah.
So keeping
all of that, and then
contacts are growing even more.
also back then, I mean, it's it's slightly different now. You get more digital promos, but you had the Radio 1 PO box, so everyone would send music into the PO box,
Yeah.
and then you just get this massive crate of music, and they would all have like the names of the PR companies or the pluggers. So that all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, that person does that kind of music. Oh, that person does that kind of sound, that kind of.
Yeah.
And I remember the first weekend, there was like this massive crate of CDs and vinyl, and Charles was like, oh yeah, that's the new music, and he was like totally unbothered about it. He was like, oh, I was like, no, I'll take it home. I'll listen to all of them.
Keen. Really
keen. And then I remember like going through all those, like the whole weekend, listening to CDs and being like, oh, this isn't great. And I have like a whole box, and I probably pulled out like 2 albums and like 3 tracks, and then realizing that that's just not the way to do it. Like you have to as well. You obviously listen to as much music as you can, but then you start looking out for signs as to stamps of approval or
Go on, so take us through what that would be.
I don't know. It would be who sent it.
Yeah. So like if it came through a plugger.
If it came through a plugger, what record label it was on. Somebody else had recommended it. Say another DJ, because they always put on the things. Or other DJ, or other shows.
Yeah.
But it's hard because you don't, in the same stretch, you don't want to miss anything.
No.
So I don't know. You can't. Yeah, it's a. At first, I had to listen to literally absolutely everything, and then kind of figure out where I kind of lay within that.
Were you under pressure to be feeding this stuff to Giles? Because you said he said, will you?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
And you wanted to get something different.
Yeah, no, eventually it built into quite a, it built into that was my main responsibility, He'd be like, he'd wind me up. He'd be like, you haven't given me any music in a week. I'd be like, okay, and so I literally go, I felt like it was my responsibility to come back and be like, I've got this tune, like, obviously you're not going to give him something just for the sake of it, and then also there was that mad satisfaction when he'd actually play something that I'd given to him on the radio, or he'd be loving it, it was like, oh my God, I was one that like, listen to that first, whatever that means, but I was, and there was pressure, it was, and also with that, I ended up starting to build a network of like, friends and other DJs who could recommend music from their sphere, whether that was hip hop or garage or techno or whatever, And I'd sit on iChat all the time, and it's quite funny because like I remember iChat had like Apple Blim, Ramadan Man, Flying Lotus, Ahu, like a whole bunch of like people who've become pretty prevalent in their areas. And we're all sitting there on iChat, like spreading these tunes around.
Yeah.
I remember iChat was the one. I don't know what happened to it actually, because everyone used to always throw stuff across. And yeah, I mean that was insanely fun, insanely satisfying. But I was making no money.
So is this the point where you're sleeping on the floor of the office?
Yeah.
Was that because of too much work or because of nowhere to sleep?
No, I mean that wasn't so much. Didn't have anywhere. Well, it did turn into having nowhere to sleep later on in the story, I suppose. But that was more like I'm in the Browns basement, and it's wall to wall of jazz and soul and hip hop and all the good stuff that I'm into.
Yeah.
I want to listen to all of this, like all of it. So and Giles would go away a lot, obviously, and so and I had keys. So when he was away, I just hide myself in the basement and listen to music across the weekend.
Yeah.
Just listen. And yeah, I mean, it was just I just love music. So and it was amazing. I discovered so much kind of. Obviously, I discovered loads of jazz, and you get to see all these old record covers. And the old Brownsville basement is different to what it is now, but back then it smelt really kind of mouldy and like old vinyl, kind of stinky, and it was all very kind of. And also, like just messing around with the studio because Giles had a radio studio down there, so I just end up messing around with it. And seeing how that button works and all that
Teaching
kind of stuff.
yourself to be a...
Yeah, I suppose so, because I wasn't really a DJ. Well, I wasn't a DJ at all then.
Yeah.
Not at all. In fact, it was Giles that turned around and said to me, "You're a DJ." I was like, well, I haven't DJed before. How does that work? He was like, no, you've got a DJ's mentality.
Yeah.
And you should go out and DJ. I was lucky enough, through working for Giles, that he managed to recommend me for some insane lineups. When I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, because I ended up being like backing DJ for Roots Maneuver with about 15 minutes notice in front of 3,000 people. Looking back, I really didn't know how to use a DJ mixer. Looking back, I remember I cut out the bass. I didn't even know how I did it, and it was like the bass was gone for like 2 tunes. And I'm like, sound engineer, and then Giles came over and went, it was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was like, oh. Sorry, man. And, I ended up warming up for Erykah Badu and Q-Tip. I played Room 1 at Fabric with 2 hours notice. I was actually on the sofa watching something. And they got a call from Giles' producer saying, "Oh, do you want to play Fabric Room 1 tonight?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." But I haven't got any tunes ready. I had to go and buy headphones from Black Market because I'd busted my headphones the week before. But yeah, turning up with you turn up to Fabric. Fabric is a very kind of DJ orientated club. It's like DJ club. I turn up with these bags. I don't know what I'm doing. Just get a tune on. That was a chastening experience.
Yeah.
But it was and that definitely kind of, I was doing my thing up until then, but that definitely kind of, watching Giles as well. He's got 2 kids and a wife and all that kind of stuff, and I mean he's 50 now. He turned 50 this year, so that idea of somebody, having a successful career as a DJ, and also having a nice lifestyle, a good house in Hackney, and holding it down with a wife and 2 kids. It's not easy when you're flying around the world and DJing in basements and all that kind of stuff, and spending weeks away sometimes. So that it gave me a lot of confidence that that is possible, but also at the same time learning that there's a certain discipline to it as well. Because you are surrounded by just madness when you're in a clubbing environment. And as a DJ or whatever, you're the instigator of that madness to an extent. So in some ways you have to join in, but at the same time, like last night, last night I was DJing in Leuven until 4 o'clock yesterday morning.
In Belgium.
In Belgium. She left the club
This morning.
And got on the plane at 7 o'clock. Got to Manchester at 7:25. Got to the hotel at 8 o'clock. And, you know, I knew last night that there's no way, like, I had to stay straight, like, you know, but at the same time, you know, I was DJing for 4 hours, so, you know, I had to let loose somehow. But, you know, knowing fully well that I have to get on a flight, you know, and make it here for you guys, you know. So, you know, you add that kind of, you know, it's a mad discipline kind of that you know, because you know, it's all good going to DJing, but that is essentially your job. Like that's, you know, how you make money as a DJ. So you can't mess around. You know, you can't. You know, everyone thinks like, DJ, like, yeah, spray the champagne, all that kind of stuff. You know, but it's your money. Like it's your bread and butter. That's how you pay your rent. Like, so there is a mad discipline that goes with it.